Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have I want to raise four assumptions that are underlying this, the Plan Bay area that I think undermine the plan that you're developing and need to be addressed before it becomes a valid plan that you can certify through the EIR process or through the political process. But first I wanted to mention, as a fellow citizen, to please consider that the citizens that know about this do not like the plan, and the citizens do not like the plan are the people whose interests you serve. And I urge you to consider that. I went to a meeting in May where the ABAG board and the MTC commissioners listened to citizen after citizen after citizen, articulately and persuasively expressing opposition to the plan, and it made no difference. Another thing that gravely concerns me before I go to those four forecasts is the assumption that the public must be persuaded to agree to this plan rather than the public should be consulted and maybe the plan should be changed. Last month, November 9th, this body deliberated, talked about the public visioning sessions earlier this year. And Mr. Sparing and Mr. Haggerty and Mr. Heminger laughed about how painful it had been to sit through the visioning sessions earlier this year. Painful was the word that you used several times. We're the people whose interests you represent. It shouldn't be painful for you. You should listen to us. Okay, four assumptions that discredit this and invalidate this plan. The first is that ABAG and MTC are using assumptions for population growth which are wildly overstated. Almost 10% a year per decade for the next 3 decades. The California Department of Finance in May came out with a revised set of forecasts that were just over 5% for growth in population for the Bay Area. I think even those are overstated and will be revised down. That is a built-in bias for more and more growth in housing, which is false. It's invalid. Second is your models assume that greater density equals lower or decreased greenhouse gas emissions per capita. The empirical data shows exactly the opposite. Greater density equals greater greenhouse gas emissions per capita. That needs to be addressed. Third, your models assume that there is a vast unmet need for and demand, market demand, for mixed-use commercial space and mixed-use residential. The empirical data falsifies that. There are mixed-use developments built with redevelopment agency funds throughout the Bay Area that are sitting largely or completely empty. My time's finished. Thank you very much.
Go, if you have a final thought.
The fifth driving assumption is this body was assigned by the state initially 5% decrease in greenhouse gas emissions per capita. This body, in a fight of enthusiasm, went back to the state and demanded that the state assign this region a 15% decrease in greenhouse gas emissions per capita. Why would you do that?
That's a good question.